Okay, great. Recording has started. Fantastic. Okay, everybody, let us jump in. There might be more people. Oh, there are more people joining. Okay, so we'll let them in as they come. Let us jump in now. And there we go. So hopefully you can all see my screen here. Let me know at any point if for some reason you can't see what I'm talking about. Just give me some feedback. Okay, let us start with a quick introduction. So we are Inner Leader. My name is Tim. I'm Tim Cooper Robbins. I run Inner Leader with my wife, Sarah. You may well have had some connection or communication with Joe, who is our client service coordinator. And then Rachel, Paul, and Louise here are some of the other trainers and coaches that we work with. We have probably another 3 or 4 who are not on this slide. To the right, you can see a bunch of big logos, which we are really pleased to be able to display. All of these companies we have ongoing working relationships with, designing programs for them, whether it's leadership or sales training or negotiation skills or communication skills, personal impact, mindset coaching. That's what we're all about. It's all about these people skills. So that is a quick introduction to us. And in terms of where we're based, my wife and I actually live in Gaydon. So we're a stone's throw away from JLR. And we do a lot of work around the Midlands and the South and Southeast. Yes, really happy to be here. Thank you so much for taking your time to join. Let us jump in. Let's start with some agreements and requests. So kind of implicitly agreed already that the session is being recorded. This is a safe space to speak freely, to learn, to practice. Oh, here we go. Let me just try and... this is going to be a challenge to balance letting people in. Here we go. Okay, they're coming in. Great. Okay. It's a safe space to practice, to ask questions. There is no such thing as stupid questions. If you have a question, I really want to hear it. I'll do my best to check in with the chat throughout. If I'm not seeing your message, because when I'm presenting, I don't see the chat. So if not, please just unmute, speak up, ask the question. And we're also going to be using some breakout rooms. So we're going to be getting you to connect with 2 or 3 other people for some fun activities, some practical activities. So I hope you are up for that too. Okay, so what are we going to cover today? We are going to cover this. We're going to start with the psychology of effective communication. We are all constantly communicating. Most of us don't do it amazingly well. This model will be a real upgrade in your thinking, which will help you to communicate more effectively. We're then going to look at how to increase your impact. After all, this session is called personal impact. And that's not entirely clear for most people what that means. What we're really talking about here are the 3 key areas. So how you look. So I'm going to give you some top tips on how you can look more confident, whether you are face-to-face or whether you are delivering virtually. So that's how you look. Second point is how you sound. We need to work on sounding more engaging. Right now, the way I am talking to you, I am working. I am using my voice in a number of different ways to engage you. And I think we can all relate to having colleagues and stakeholders who don't make much effort at all. And actually, when they speak, they kind of send us off into a trance or something similar. Don't be one of those people. By the end of this session, you will have some practical techniques on how you can sound more engaging. And it's not just how you sound, it's what you say. So another key topic we're going to explore here is the words you use, the language that you speak. Can either detract from your authority or your credibility, or it can enhance it. Let's make sure that it's enhancing it. And finally, we're going to touch on a wonderful model which you may have come across before, but it's a timeless model, so well worth revisiting, even if you are familiar with it. Expanding your circle of influence. So we are going to cover a lot. I'm checking my watch here. We are 5 minutes in, and I'm just going to move as quick as we can so we can really cover as much of this. So again, have your pen and paper ready, take notes, and when you get questions, like write them down, put them in the chat. Let's not lose them. Let's start with a quote. You can have brilliant ideas, but if you can't get them across, your ideas won't get you anywhere. Lee Iacocca. We all have ideas, and we're all in meetings where people are sharing ideas, often lots of ideas. And we've probably all had that experience where somebody said, or where you've said something and you didn't get much of a response, and then somebody else said pretty much the same thing a little bit later in the meeting, and they get a round of applause. And you think, hang on, I said that. I said something very similar. Why did I not get heard? And a lot of it's going to be explained in this next model. So, the psychology of effective communication. This is a great model. The Shannon Weaver model, created in the mid-40s. So not a new model at all, but it stood the test of time. This really summarizes the essence of all communication. Spoken, written, SMS, email, you name it. It applies and it can be defined within this model. So when you're communicating, there's always at least two parties. You have a sender and a receiver. So if I am emailing Steve, sender, Steve is the receiver. If I'm making a phone call to Claire, same thing. If, as I'm talking to you right now, single sender, multiple receivers. Okay, so that means when I am writing the email, I'm encoding. I'm encoding my thoughts into typed words. When I'm sending you a text message, I'm encoding. When I'm talking to you right now, I'm encoding my thoughts through my speech and I'm speaking it. This is the encoding process. As the receiver, you read that email, you receive that email. Okay, you receive the text message. You're listening to my voice right now. What do you have to do? You've got to decode. Okay, so the sender is encoding the communication, the receiver is decoding the communication. Okay, pretty straightforward. Okay, so why is there so much more miscommunication and misunderstanding on this planet than there is correct or accurate communication? Why is that? Well, the main thing is that most people, when they are encoding their communication, they are thinking about themselves. Do I know what I mean? Do I understand these words? Do I understand this terminology? Do I understand this level of technical complexity? Yes, I do. Yes. Yep. Makes perfect sense to me. So that's what I'm going to encode. That's what I'll put in the email. That's what I'll speak. That's what I'll say in the meeting. And where is the inherent problem in this? Is that your receivers may not be able to decode what you mean. So if I say, for example, back in 2003, I studied NLP. I really enjoyed learning collapsed anchors, the meta model, of course, the Milton model, and how to integrate that onto a timeline to address things like PTSD. And yeah, that's really sort of one of my main takeaways. You're thinking, what are you talking about? Like, no, that was just jumble. Now, I know everything that I just said there. It all makes sense to me. I can decode all of that. But when I'm speaking like that, I'm not considering my receiver. And as simple and as obvious as this is, if you listen to most people's communication in work and out of work, they are not really considering the receiver. They're just thinking about, do I know what I mean? I mean, even if it's not complex, if I said, oh, I saw John yesterday and he said the whole idea is terrible. What does that mean to you? Well, which John? Probably know many Johns, and the idea, which idea, and the whole thing is terrible. Terrible in what way? What are you talking about here? So this is the trap that we fall into. Another thing to factor into this is that we are surrounded by noise. Okay, so if you're working in an open plan office, you've got other conversations around you. You've got people walking and moving around you, so you've got visual noise happening all the time. If you're working at home and you're on your screen, you've got visual noise, you've got email notifications popping up, you've got things happening on browsers, you've got maybe children, dogs, cats running around, moving around you. There's noise everywhere. But there is a particular noise or a source of noise that is louder than all of these. This is the loudest noise in any room. It's the loudest noise on any virtual call. I'm going to stop sharing for a minute. I'm going to put this question to you. So I'm going to look at the chat now. What is that? What is the loudest noise in any room at any time, including right now? Claire?
Silence.
Correct. It's amazing how many people say silence, but silence is actually silent, right? Silence is actually silent, but it's Claire and Honey, you are absolutely right. It's this thing. This is the loudest noise. So as I'm talking right now, there's a noise, but you're also thinking, you're thinking, yeah, I agree, Tim, that's a really good point. Or you might be thinking, no, I disagree. I see it differently, Tim. I wouldn't agree with that. Or you might be thinking, yeah, this is useful. I think I do this already, but maybe I don't. And oh gosh, I haven't had lunch yet. Am I going to get time for lunch today? Because we're doing this webinar now, and I'd normally be eating my lunch now. Oh, and who's picking up the kids this evening? Is it me or my partner? We've constantly got noise. So while someone else can be presenting to you like I am, or talking in a meeting, your brain might be focused on something completely different, which is a louder noise. So it's an interesting way of thinking about communication. It's all about noise. Everyone has noise, from the CEO of a multinational business to the intern who started yesterday, right? The CEO is thinking about market share and growth opportunities and competitors and all of that. The intern is thinking, oh my God, what am I doing? I don't understand any of this. I feel like I'm not good enough. I feel like an imposter. Oh, I hope someone doesn't ask me a difficult question. Everyone has noise the whole time. So, in essence, what are we saying here? The most effective form of communicating is to be focused on your receiver. So that means you're stopping and thinking before you write before you hit send on the email, probably before you even write the email, before you ask a question or make a comment in a meeting. Think like, okay, who's my audience? Okay, so they're mainly engineers. They're very technical. Okay, so they're probably wanting me to speak in this type of language. Oh, actually, this is the finance department. So they're really not technical engineers at all. They're finance people. So they're probably going to want me to communicate in this type of way. The intern, who doesn't know anything about anything just yet, they're going to need me to communicate in a very different way, very simple language, hopefully probably short sentences, lots of like analogies and stories. You get the idea. So Shannon Weaver, effective communication is focus on your receiver, right? So what is the correct form of communication? It's the communication that works for your audience. Full stop. Not what works necessarily for you, is what works for them. Another tip I'd like to give you here. So write this down because this will be useful. When you're, oh, can we just make sure everyone's on mute, please? When you are giving an update in a meeting, when you're giving a presentation, when you're trying to engage your team or speak with customers, notice your pronouns. And I know we live in a world where pronouns are a hot topic. This is a slightly different angle on pronouns. These are everyone's favorite pronouns. Okay, I, me, my. Well, in my opinion, as far as I'm concerned, from my experience, I think what we should do here is that's everyone's favorite go-to, right? Everyone's favorite topic is themselves. So we talk about I, me, my a lot. When you do that, you generally lose your audience because you are no one else's favorite topic. Even if you're their manager or a senior leader or someone's husband, wife, or partner, you are not their favorite topic. They are still their favorite topic rather than you. Sorry to break the news to you. Different pronouns, more inclusive, especially if you're a manager or a leader or trying to bring stakeholders together. Us, we, our. Okay, so we are being faced with this problem. This is a challenge for all of us right now. So we need to pool our collective heads and minds and knowledge and come up with a solution that works for all of us. Great. That's more engaging pronouns. There are two pronouns that are even more engaging than this, and I'm going to stop sharing because I want to see the chat. What are the two most engaging pronouns on the planet that you should use more of to engage your audience? Please write them in the chat. The two most engaging pronouns. Stephen Simpson, 100%. You and your. You and your, right? So listen to the difference. If I start this webinar and I said, I'll use I, me, my to begin with as a comparison. Hi, everyone. I'm Tim. This is one of my favorite topics. I'm really passionate about personal impact and influence, and I've been using these techniques for many years. I use it in my own business and I use it with my customers. How did that land for you? It's like, yeah, okay, well done, Tim. Happy for you, but who cares? Let me switch it with you, your. Welcome everyone to this webinar. Today, you are going to come away with a collection of techniques that you can apply in your work with your stakeholders and your team immediately. These techniques are going to give you an unfair advantage. How did that sound? Which version did you prefer and why? Between the I, me, my and the you, your. you can hear the immediate difference, can't you? Right. So as soon as you start framing things in you and your, exactly, Roman, exactly, because I get engaged. And I know, Roman, I don't know you as a person, but I know your favorite topic. Your favorite topic is you. It's not me, right? So when I'm using you and your, it speaks directly to you personally, and you think, yeah, great. It answers this question: what's in it for me? That is the most popular question, I believe, on the planet. 8 billion people asking that every day. What's in it for me? So when you use you, you're speaking to that noise. Okay. I want to do a quick breakout session with you. I'm going to put you into small breakout rooms, and I want you to have a discussion together, brainstorm and capture some ideas of how could you make your presentations or your updates or your meetings more audience focused or receiver focused. We're talking about, focus on the receiver, focus on your audience, same thing. What could you do that could make your whether it's writing an email, a proposal, talking in a meeting, designing something for other people, team building day out, whatever it is. Here are some potential topics here. I'm just going to put these in the chat. I just want you to have a quick discussion together about how you could start making your daily, weekly communication more audience focused, more receiver focused. So focus on what other people want rather than what you are wanting or how you are wanting it. Let's just open this up here. There we go. What have we got? 16. Okay. There we go. Create rooms. So please just, copy and paste that text in the chat if that's useful for you. And I'm just going to give you, it's going to be brief. I'm going to set a time. I'm going to give you 4 minutes.
Sorry, I didn't get an invite for the breakout room.
Oh, sorry, I'm just creating it now. Just creating it now.
Okay, sorry.
Just takes a couple of ticks. Okay, so I'm going to open the rooms. You've got 4 minutes. Have a discussion together. Any ideas of how you can make your communication more audience focused or more receiver focused? So you're really framing things in terms of what's in it for them and using you, your, and using the language that works for them rather than what works for you. See you in 4 minutes.
Hi.
Room 9. Let's have a look. Okay. Matt, are you here now? I think, are you not assigned to a room? Let's have a look here. Here we go. Got you. Right, Matt, if you're there, I'm just going to assign you to a room so you can engage in this activity. Is that all right? Hi, Vinay, welcome. Are you there?
Hi. Yeah. Sorry I'm late. I missed.
Yeah. It's okay. So everyone's just in a breakout room at the moment. So it's just you and me here right now.
Oh, okay. All right. Is it going to be a problem that I've
Okay.
joined late, or should I sign on to another session in the future because I've missed the first half?
No, it's fine. No, I mean, I've recorded the session anyway, but we've still got plenty more content we're going to cover. Actually, people are just coming back from the breakout rooms now.
All right. Thank you.
Great, sure. So everyone, welcome back. I know that was a very quick 4 minutes,
That
but
was
hey
a
ho,
believable
time
4
is
minutes.
upon us. Can you believe it? Like I did not edit that. That was 4 minutes, right? So can you put in the chat any ideas that have come out of that? Whether they're small things, medium or big, what can you do differently or do more consciously to make your communication more audience focused? Please share in the chat any ideas that you managed to share and learn in a very, very short 4 minutes. See, absolutely knowing your audience, first of all, 100%. I think it all starts with that initial research, and if I don't know these people, have I at least gone to LinkedIn just to find out something about them? Can I see that some of my network are connected to them? Could I just send an email to a few people I know to try and find out about that person? Really important. Call to action boxes. I like that, Emily. Rashi, creating a chat group before the meeting so we know each other. Brilliant idea. Oslem, understanding the needs of the audience. Great. How often do we start a meeting by saying, hi, everyone, welcome here. Here's the topic. Before we jump in, can we just do a quick check-in with everyone? What are people looking to get from this meeting? What's most important to you? What's the loudest noise in your mind in relation to this topic? What a powerful and effective way to start the meeting. Rarely happens in my experience. Great. So Carla, connect through email or a call before the presentation or training. Engage questions. Get everyone excited about what's to come. Absolutely. Roman, short, concise, bullet points, straight to the point. Absolutely. Focus on the bigger picture. Graphics, contents, real life examples. Okay, loads of ideas coming through here. Great. Great. Look, I pronounce all of you marketeers, right? Because this is what marketing does really well. Marketing are constantly focused on the audience, the customer. What do they want? What's the noise in their mind? What do they care about? How can we connect with them rather than make them have to connect with us? Brilliant ideas there. Great. Okay, I think we're ready to move on with some more. Let's jump into this. Okay, how to increase your impact. Okay, the first bit of research I know is based on impact that we're going to get to very shortly. But before we do, what is impact? If we say, I want to increase my impact, well, okay, what's the result of increasing impact? Well, I would say if you speak with impact, if you're presenting with impact, communicating with impact, number one, people will actually listen to you, right? They won't be trying to juggle doing emails and listening with half an ear. They'll be actually paying attention to you. They are much more likely to perceive you as confident. And in business, as in life, if you're confident, I will assume and presume you are competent. And that isn't always a logical connection or logically true or in actuality, but we make that connection all the time. If someone comes across confident, introduces themselves with confidence, we think, wow, they must be good at what they do. Okay, so we want to come across as confident. If you speak with impact, people are more likely to remember what you've said because you held their attention. They'll be more likely persuaded by your ideas. And if we're more persuaded, that means we're going to be more influenced or motivated to take action. And ultimately, we want our thoughts, which translate into words. We want those words to land in other people's ears, go into their mind, stir up thoughts and emotions and ideas. And ultimately, we most of the time, we want someone to do something. So that's really what we want as a result of impact. The first bit of research I'm aware of that ever sort of measured impact was done by Professor Albert Mehrabian in the late 50s and early 60s. He got groups of test subjects into various rooms, I think on a university campus in California, and he was video recording them without them knowing, and he then decoded their communication. He broke the communication down into its three components. So what you actually say, the words you spoke, how you say it, how you sound. So that's not what you say, that's the sound of your voice. Did it sound very flat and boring, or did it sound really engaging and with lots of intonation? Was it quite aggressive? Or was it really soft and warm and kind? That's the sound of the voice. The third element they measured is how you look. So that's everything you see. That's body language. It's how you stand, things like that. The result of his research was very, very clear, and it's represented in the size of these three circles: the blue, the pinky red, and the yellow. From his results, from his research, in human interaction, what creates the most impact, what creates the medium impact, and what creates the least impact in terms of how I look, what I say, and how I say it? Your answers, please, in the chat. Which one do you think is the red one? Is it how you sound? Is it how you look? Or is it what you actually say? What creates the biggest impact? And what creates the smallest impact? I'm just going to have a look on the chat right now. Okay, sound, how I sound. Oh, Rashi, how I look. Okay, interesting that no one's saying what I actually say, right? So no one's actually saying the words I actually say have the most impact. Everyone's either going look or sound. Interesting. Well, let's reveal the results. It came out very clear. 55% of your impact is how you look. It's what people see. 38% is the sound, the tone of your voice, the volume, the emphasis, the clarity, and 7% is content. Wow. Okay, now 7% is content. Now, you might be thinking, Tim, I don't believe this. There's no way that look is 55%. Okay, well, I want you to really engage with me today, but now I'm going to do that. And now I want you to engage with me, and now it's just my voice. So can you see how excited I am right now? Can you see the expression of my... No, you can't see anything. So look is massive. Now I'll put the camera back on. What if I did this? I really know what I'm talking about. That's a big impact, isn't it? You know, I've got a really big idea I want to share with you here. That's loud, isn't it? Yeah, I feel motivated and engaged. What we see is always louder than what we hear, right? So the way someone dresses, the expression of, is your camera on, for example? And if it is on, how does this person look? What about their eyes, their face, their gestures, their micro muscle movements? We are constantly observing people and making judgments on them. So how you look is massive. It's also visually how your slides look, right? Because that's look as well, isn't it? So if you're influencing people and you give a really busy slide with just loads of graphs and numbers and data and stats, it creates so much noise that people go, I can't even read this slide because it's just too noisy. I can't even see the wood from the trees here. I think if we step back a little bit, we might say, okay, I don't believe that what you say is your content is just 7%, but let's say it looks something more like this, equal thirds. And if you think about when you prepare for a presentation, your last presentation, where did 98% of your focus, if not 100%, where did 100% of your focus and preparation go in your previous presentation, the last presentation that you prepared? Where was 98, 99, or 100% of your focus in its creation and preparation? I'm going to have to stop sharing so I can see the chat. Vicky, you got it. Charlotte, you got it. Content. So there's the aha moment. We get so focused on content. Micro details, micro this, have I given enough that? Oh, these numbers need to be... Now, we need to be accurate. Right? I'm not saying that content is irrelevant, but in terms of what people actually remember and what actually influences people's decision making, content it's a part of the puzzle. But you and I can deliver the same content, and you might make it sound a bit dry and drab and boring or complicated or difficult. I might make it sound engaging, exciting, easy to do, at our fingertips. And it's the same content, but could be delivered in a very different way, and therefore it creates a different result from your audience. One audience, with one result, the audience might say, I'm not sure this is something we should do right now. And delivered a different way, the same people, the same audience might say, yep, this is what we need to do. Do you know what? In fact, let's prioritize this over the other projects we're doing right now. This makes sense. And again, it's rarely from the content. It's more from the delivery of the content. So where are we going with this? We live in such a digital virtual world right now. I want to give a bit of time to this because some people still have not got this where it needs to be. Okay, let's look at lighting, camera, and body language because we live in such a virtual world. Make sure you are not in any of these, right? So we've got backlit, harsh shadows, overblown, and underlit. I would say many people are underlit, but still, this is not rocket science. And, you know, we've been virtual since COVID. Really, we have no excuse if we haven't got this set up together already. This was a gentleman I was coaching. He's in Saudi Arabia. He's got a light on his wall, so I can see his wall. I can see a light behind his head. I can see out his window. The one thing I can't see is his face. And obviously this person here in the middle. So how do we do this? We make sure we never have the light source behind us. And again, just by having the window in front of us, should we have a window in the room, it makes huge, huge difference. Loretta, I see you got your hand up. Please ask a question.
Sorry, my camera's not working at the moment, so I'm a bit concerned on this next bit.
Okay, well, no, we're not going to do like going to breakout rooms.
It's to do with my internet, so that's what I was just a little bit concerned that I'm going to fail straight away.
Don't worry. It's okay. We're not assessing each other on this today. It's okay.
Okay, thanks.
But the essence is, should you have this available to you, this is the ideal setup. You want the window in front of you and that natural light coming in, and you also want to have the webcam. See, I've got a monitor here. In fact, it's the monitor I'm using right now, and it allows me to have the webcam at eye level because we want this. Now, if you don't have a window, you can get ring lights fairly inexpensively. You can get a daylight bulb to put into a normal table lamp. And at this time of year, when it's dark in the mornings and dark in the evenings, it really does make a difference to try and remove the shadow so people can at least see your face. Now, this, of course, assumes that you're putting your webcam on. I know not everybody likes putting their camera on. And for maybe the majority of your inter-team conversations, but you're just chatting about who knows what, maybe it's not that necessary. But for the calls when you really want to influence, you need to influence, whether it's persuade or energize or land a difficult message, please make sure you've got your camera on and make sure that your face is well lit and people can see you, because that is the closest thing we have to face-to-face interaction right now. And it's so important. Again, especially when you're delivering difficult messages, people are not just analyzing the words, they're analyzing you. Do you believe what you're saying? Do you care about what you're telling me? And how do I know that? Well, I can't hear that just by the words. Your voice will give me some information, but I need to see you. That's how I'm going to make my main judgments about you and your sincerity and your authenticity about whatever you're telling us. The webcam, right? I know many people use a dual screen setup. Don't be this guy on the left where you've got your webcam pointing at you from the side. Because look, what happens if I do this now? Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm Tim. Oh, yes, I'm not looking at the camera because my camera's over here. But anyway, let's just carry on and connect with each other. I mean, this is absolutely bonkers. Like, do you feel that you're connecting with me right now? Of course you don't, right? So whatever you need to do, make sure the webcam is more focused here. And what we don't want as well is the laptop webcam. Let me just do this now. There we go. Now I've just switched to my laptop webcam. Hello, everyone. Hello down there. How are you? Right? Can you see the difference? Suddenly, it's like the sort of parent-child dynamic where I'm talking down to you. It changes the feel, right? And it's just not best practice. So let's come back to this webcam here. There we go. So now we are eye height, eye level. Let's come back to here. And the other thing that people still struggle with is that we don't look where we need to look. To give eye contact virtually, you need to be looking into this camera here. I'm now looking into the camera. That means I see nothing. I don't see your faces. I don't see the screen. I am just looking at this tiny pinhole camera. It's not enjoyable for me as the sender of the communication, but you as the receiver, it makes a huge difference because it feels like I'm talking with you. What most people do is this, and now let's say we had a Teams call. I'm now looking at your face, so I'm getting a sense of eye contact, but then you're talking to my forehead, which again just doesn't. I mean, we're so used to it now, but again, if you can just raise the eyes up, talk to the camera when you're making those key messages, key points, it makes a big difference for your audience. And again, great communication is all about your audience's experience, not yours. We want to blur the background to minimize things or have some type of background. I think it's really important. You should be the most interesting thing, not things you've got on the wall or furniture or art or things like that. And in terms of body language, so light source in front of you, camera directly in front of you, eye level, sit up tall, shoulders back, because how you sit communicates something as well. Looking directly into the camera when you are really delivering those key messages. Adopt a half smile, especially if you have a face like mine. My face, if I don't use my cheek muscles, I look really moody. I'll give you an example. So I'm not unhappy here. This is just my face without me making any effort. It looks like I'm really moody, right? So a half smile, you just put a bit of energy into your cheek muscles here. It's not a big silly smile like this. It's just a half smile. And it communicates a warmth. It communicates a positivity, an enthusiasm. Well, maybe enthusiasm is too much, but it's an openness. It's a connection point, right? And again, the mammalian part of our brain, we're looking for threat or friendliness the whole time. So if you're not showing that friendliness in your face, that can create a big noise for some people, and they think, oh, this person doesn't like me. Then now they start thinking about that rather than listening to your message. So a half smile just puts people at ease, helps them to receive your words more effectively. Using your face to emote, your eyes, your eyebrows, your mouth, notice eyebrows are a part of this. Muscles around your cheek, your lips. In virtual communication, you're basically only showing somebody this much of your body language, which is hardly any. So make your face work to engage your audience. And we want purposeful gestures as well. Trickier with a video camera, so you might need to point the video camera somewhat down to get your hands included. But if you notice, if I'm speaking with my hands and talking about different levels or expanding the idea or moving from this way of doing it to this way of doing it, suddenly when I'm using my hands, it increases the impact. It makes it more engaging for you and for me. So those are some ideas. I know we're moving quickly, but time is upon us. I just want
Hi,
to...
Tim. Hi, Tim. I think you stop sharing the screen.
You are absolutely... Yes, thank you so much. I've just realized that. I did. Thank you for telling me. Apologies. Let me just bring this back up. Thanks for letting me know that. Okay, just please put in the chat from anything that we've covered so far. What's been a key takeaway or a useful insight for you from anything we've talked about or practiced so far? Just pop something in the chat. What's been a takeaway that you can actually apply to enhance your communication so far? We have got, so it's 1:13, so we've got 17 minutes left. Steve, your presence should not be taken for granted. Bingo. Remember, look at the camera. Yes, Elizabeth. Lena, don't look directly at the camera and half smile. Yes. Rashi, body language for sure that matters. I'll take that into account. Great. Honey, facial gestures. Claire, think about the prep, not just focus on the content. Great. Vinay, lighting and shadows. Great. Camera setup, look over content. Roma, thank you. Matt, eye contact when landing key messages via Teams. Great. Camera height and lighting. Oh my God, there's loads of stuff happening here. Brilliant. My team don't often, Charlotte, my team don't often use cameras, so I'll try and encourage that more. It does make a difference. Absolutely. Right. Absolutely. And I was doing some work with a game studio recently in Leamington, and one of the team said, "Oh, our team never puts cameras on. We just never have. No, there's no point even asking. We've just never done that, and I'm sure they'd all resist." I was like, "Okay." So I was coaching this manager. I thought, well, okay, that's your story. Have you asked them? Well, I think I asked them a couple of years ago, and they didn't want to do it. Okay, that was a couple of years ago. Why not try? Why don't you start with your camera on? Oh, but they will not put their cameras on. Okay, show them. Be the leader, right? Be the example. Whether you're the manager or the leader of the team or not, be the example, right? If you want to set a new standard, be the standard rather than telling other people to do it. Turn your camera on. And even if it's you and no one else has got the camera, that takes courage, right? And sometimes people say, "Oh, I don't want Tim to be the only one with this camera." They might feel a bit, sorry for you, and maybe they'll turn it on out of compassion or guilt. Other people might think, you know what? It is quite interesting when people have a camera on. So experiment with it. And we don't want to be embarrassing anyone or shaming anyone for doing it. Of course not. But I think about inspiring or even just encouraging in a positive way. Anyway, fast forward. Now that team, they all have their cameras on the whole time. And they've had this real aha moment of realizing now when we do it, we're much more present because it's much harder to multitask when you've got your camera on because everyone sees that you're doing it. Like, "Tim, what are you doing? You're not listening, are you? You're not part of the meeting." "Oh, yeah, sorry. I was just trying to catch up on it." Okay. It almost kills that completely. So then you're actually having team meetings where people are actually listening and engaging, which is what we want. Otherwise, it's you talking into the abyss, hoping that people are somehow listening and paying attention. Like, life is too short. Okay, Steve, now I've just turned mine off as I felt odd that it was just you and I. It's all right, Steve. It's all right. I get it. Okay, so some more tips here. I want to squeeze even more into this. Here we go. Right, body language. Okay, this is, again, because we're moving quickly because I'm trying to squeeze in lots of value here. In one of our trainings, we'd go over this at a much steadier pace and have much more time to practice. But I want to give you some top tips here. In a word, body language like this, whether you're sitting, standing, virtual, in person, you don't want to be closed, right? This is closed body language, folding your arms, crossing your hands, covering your face, covering your neck, crossing your legs, anything where you're closing, that's a protection. And it's signaling to the other person, "I don't want to connect with you. I feel intimidated by you. I'm not interested in you." Any one of those, they'll pick one of them and that'll be their takeaway. Now, we want to be more open, right? Literally more open. And I talk about opening the gates. So if you think about your hands when you're at a gate, if you're standing up to present, you want your gates open. If you're sitting at a table with other people, you want the gates open. It feels weird. It feels vulnerable. Like, it does feel a lot more comfortable just to have your hands here. Enfolded feels really comfortable. I'm protecting myself. But listen to that. I'm protecting myself, or I find this comfortable. I. That's you focusing on you. Focus on your audience, right? You want to be a great communicator. It's not about what you find comfortable. It's about what works for them. So again, if I just tilt my camera down a little bit, rather than, imagine if I was talking to you like this. "Hi, everyone. Great. So welcome to the call. And, I really want to connect with you today and get to know you. And I hope you want to get to know me as well." It's a real mixed message, isn't it? Because I'm saying one thing, but not showing the other. If I open the gates and I say, "Hi, everyone, welcome to the call. So I'm Tim, and I'm really keen to get to know you. And I'd like you to get to know me, get to know each other. And let's explore. Let's explore together and come up with some ideas and whatever that is." It's a very different experience of communication. So in a word is open, right? So confident communication equals open. Open eyes, open mouth, open face. We're not hiding away. Open hands. The palms of the hand transmit trust. So if I close my hands, hide my palms, hide my hands behind my back, I'm hiding my palms. That might cause a flag in your mind thinking, "Oh, what's he hiding? Is he not telling me the truth? Does he not believe what he's saying? Is he trying to keep something from me?" The opposite of that is hands open, showing the palms. "Hey, everyone." And if you look at great presenters and talkers, go to YouTube, see someone talking, they'll have had those tips from someone like me, and you'll see that the hands are more open and we trust that person more and listen to that person more. Let's have a look here. So in terms of, and that might be what it looks like sitting at a table. This lady here, she's more open than closed. In terms of your voice, think about this. We have a comfort zone in where we speak. And there are 4 different voices that we speak from. But today, because we're doing just high level, I'm going to give you the 2. And the 2 to watch, well, 1 to watch out for and 1 to practice. This is what to watch out for. Men and women, right? We both have a neck voice. Generally, men might sound more like this on the back of their neck. But either way, this is more of a neck voice. Or it could be more like this. But when I'm talking from my neck voice, you'll notice that it's quite monotone and that it's not very interesting. And if I was to deliver the rest of this presentation in this way, you'd probably find it quite hard to actually remain focused and pay attention. And suddenly you probably will find yourself wanting to, maybe check email and do other things because I'm not really putting any energy or effort into this. And hearing my neck voice is just going to switch you off. Oh, got to get away from that. So whether you're male or female, whether you have a strong voice or you might have a very soft voice, either way, if you're speaking like this and you're talking like that, it could sound like a neck voice as well. Either way, you are sending your audience to sleep. Don't do it, right? Because it doesn't matter what you're talking about. It sounds boring. And if it sounds boring, it's really hard for people to decode that and to listen to it and to actually take it on board. Where do we want to speak from? We want to speak from our chest. Okay, so I'm putting my hand on my chest here. Hi, everyone. I'm Tim. Welcome to the webinar. Let's begin. Right, so I'm projecting my voice here versus, hi, everyone. I'm Tim. Welcome to the webinar. And today I'm going to be taking you through some of these slides and this content. Right, so this just really doesn't sound good at all. Whereas here, okay, I'm using my voice. I'm using my lungs, my chest. Hi, everyone. I'm emphasizing words, using some energy. It already makes it sound more interesting and more engaging. So practice your chest voice. The best way to do this, record yourself on your phone. Whether you do a video or just the audio, practice putting your hand on your throat here so you can feel the vibration of your neck voice. Record that and then practice getting into your chest and record that. Listen to the difference and just play with it. Don't take it too seriously, but give it some practice, right? You can't think your way into this like riding a bike. You've just got to get on the bike and practice it. So again, in a training, we'll be doing lots of practice on this and it's fun. It's lots of fun to sort of get everyone practicing their voice and giving each other feedback on the difference it makes. Okay. Oh, we don't have time for this. I'm going to move through this because I want to cover something on words. How are we doing? We've got, yes, 11 minutes. If you've grown up in the British culture, or if you've lived in the British culture for long enough, you will notice that we are swimming in soft, weak language. We've been taught it by our parents and our grandparents, and everyone uses it in the UK. Kind of, sort of, almost. Not bad, so-so. It's all right. It's quite nice. Got some stuff. It's quite a bit, somewhat. Could I just... Well, I'll try. I hope so. I'll do my best. Sorry. Like, really, if you know what I mean... Tim, are you good at what you do? Well, in a way, to a degree. I pretty much say I'm probably okay at it, I guess, I suppose. I think so. I can't, I have to, I believe, if that makes sense, to be honest, because I've just been lying until now. Basically, literally, honestly, essentially, maybe, possibly, sometimes, perhaps. This is all soft, weak language. Why do we use it? It's polite. We are not at risk of offending somebody by having a strong, certain response. We have this soft, weak, grey, yeah, maybe, kind of, a little bit, sort of, whatever. This is the opposite to impact. I think we use this to be humble, but it doesn't often come across as humble. It often comes across as uncertain, unsure, sitting on the fence, don't really know who I am, what I believe, where I stand. It's not high impact. Empowered language, and again, there are some cultural differences here. So certain cultures, I think of like, Dutch, very direct culture, South African, Israeli, very direct. And you say, do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you like it? And they'll say, yes or no. No, I don't. Yes, I do. No, you're wrong. No, I'm right. You're wrong. This is wrong. It's much more black and white, more binary language. I agree. I disagree. I choose to rather than I'll give it some thought. I might do it. No, I've chosen to do this. I've committed to do that. It sounds much more empowered and we trust this more. It's more assertive. I would call it more leadership language. I am a trainer and a coach and I will be able to help you and I have the knowledge and I know what to do. And if you ask me about engineering, no, I don't know that and I don't do that. I do this, I don't do that. Right? It's very clear. Versus Tim, do you know about engineering? Not really. It's not really my thing. Well, is that a yes or a no? Let's be clear. We are, we will, we can, we don't, we do. Our expertise, I specialize in. This is much more assertive language. And again, something that some people feel quite uncomfortable to use, but I'd encourage you to really lean in and use it. Definitely, certainly, absolutely. Demonstrate, deliver, passion, purpose, value, vision, talking about the future. 6 months from now, team, we will be here doing this, achieving that. Much more empowered versus, well, I hope we'll be more successful in the future, I think. I mean, probably. Terrible. Okay, by the way, you will be getting all of these slides, so I'll be sending these slides out to you. I know we're moving at a pace. I'm just so keen to squeeze more and more in. Any questions so far from what we've covered?
I see a question in the chat if you haven't noticed him.
Oh, please. What if we have a bad accent and a low tone of voice? I reckon that would be tricky then. Yeah, and it's the whole thing. It's like, what is the solution other than practice? I think we just have to practice. And if you can find a native English friend, colleague, say, look, I want to practice this with you. Can you literally give me some feedback? Brilliant. I mean, if you really want to take this to the next level, have a look online. There are many voice coaches out there. Yes, you'll have to pay some money for it, but that could be an absolute game changer for your career. You know, if you have a very strong accent that's hard for people to decode, or if you have a very weak voice and you haven't developed your voice, it's a bit like saying you have weak muscles. You need to get to the gym, get a fitness instructor, and they can teach you how to develop the strength of your voice, like developing the strength of your muscles. Couldn't the powerful language can sound aggressive? It can. It really depends on the tone. So the tone of your voice. So Tim, do you agree with this? No. Very aggressive. Tim, do you agree with this? No, I don't. No. What I'm going to suggest we do is this instead. I believe we must do this instead. Right, so it's all about the tone and the energy, and also body language and things like that when you're delivering it. But it is a watch out. It could sound aggressive if you say it in a short, sharp way. I can't believe how much time has flown past here. We will not have time on this call to cover the circle of influence. So I will set up another webinar where we can focus on that as in more depth, because it's an amazing model. So I will get that updated on the website and send that out to you. In terms of next steps, by the way, I have a request for everyone here. I hope this webinar has been really valuable to you. I hope you're taking away some real actionable value. Just been asking about your takeaways. In terms of next steps, we are very keen to become a supplier for JLR and to get some of our courses and programs on the
Invest in you.
Thank you so much. Invest in you. Thank you so much. So we're really keen to get approved as a supplier to make more of these types of courses available. So I have a request of you. Could you please click on this link and share your feedback? I know you're all super busy people, and once you've left the webinar, I'm sure there's 100 other things for you to do. Could I ask you to click on it now? I would be super grateful. It's a really quick questionnaire. I think it's like 9 questions, and most of them are just multiple choice or clicks. But if you could click on that link now and give some feedback. One of the questions is, would you like us to become to make our courses available on the Invest in You platform? So if you could please click on that link now, it would be a huge favor returned. Jill, thank you for the round of applause. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Again, everyone, if you can just click on that link and give some feedback, this is what's going to be the biggest thing for us, because of course we're gonna come back to contacts at JLR and show them your feedback as some evidence that you hopefully do want more of this. Ioana, I hope I said your name correctly. Thank you for that feedback. Finally, I would love to take a quick screenshot of you and your lovely faces to put onto LinkedIn. If you wanted to turn your cameras on, now would be the time. Of course, I can't make you do that. It's just a request. But it'd be lovely to see your faces. We have a few people. Great. Look at this. Here we go.
We need to see those half smiles.
Oh, yes. Come on. Anyone else? Any more? Can we fill the whole screen? That would be great. Any more? Amazing. Okay, I'm going to count down from 3. So 3, 2, 1. There we go. Let's have a look. I just want to show you that so everyone's okay with that. Are we okay with that? Hope I've got your approval for that. Everyone, thanks so much. Great to connect with you. We've got so much more that we want to share with you at JLR. So yeah, I hope you've clicked on the link and would love to get your feedback, and hoping to see you in our future webinars. We've got some more coming up. Let me just send you the link here. You've probably seen this already, but that's our events page. So if you want to register for further webinars, there is the link. We've got 2 coming up. One is on negotiation skills, and the other one is on more what we call kind of stakeholder or workplace negotiation, which is more about valuing your time and your resources. So it's giving you some mindsets and some skill sets to protect your time more. Thank you all so much. Looking forward to seeing you in another webinar sometime.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Real pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tim. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Tim.
Great.
Thanks, everyone. Speak soon.
Cheers.
Bye.